ChilliZET.
How to become a star after just one album, but good album.
Well, it's a lot. Takes a lot of hard work, and been very lucky because we've worked with some really cool people, really good people, and we've put the effort in. We've been to the studio a lot, tried out new ideas, and we're very pleased with the album. So I'm glad people are enjoying it.
I was also very curious because both of you are very, very young. So tell me, maybe do you have some secret how to create good music? So good music.
I think you have to take inspiration from what's already been. So for me, that's jazz. I love jazz. But then you have to make it new and modern so that other people would like to listen to it as well, because you need something new out there.
You said shortly about your inspiration about jazz, but I'm really curious because in your composition you put also old music like twist.
Yeah.
Whose idea it was to put twist on your CD?
Well, that was the first idea we had when we started doing the album. And I said that I wanted jazz influence all through the album. So we have trumpet and saxophone and clarinet all the way through it because that's what I love. And then obviously David had some input with his sort of rocky bluesy ideas. So really it's both of us and our producers putting ideas together.
But do you usually listen to jazz also?
Yeah, I love Ella Fitzgerald, Nat King Cole, Billie Holiday, Mel Torme, all those kinds of people.
Really old, but really good music.
Yeah.
It's very funny because you are very younger, and now not a lot of people would like to listen also very old music, but it's good because I think that it could give you a lot of good inspiration, like you said.
Well, they really felt the music that they sang, and my granddad introduced it to me, my grandpa, so that's why I started to love it. From 3 years old I was singing jazz.
So do you think that your roots have any influence on your music also?
I think for me, yes, especially because my dad's also a musician. He plays guitar, and of course, because he's from a French Moroccan background, the music he's been listening to, not only is it's Western music, but he's also listened to a lot of, for example, Spanish music or Arabic influence or world music styles. So when I'm growing up, I've been listening to all these different genres of music, and that's why I love everything now. So I think Hannah's the same as well, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I think I've been singing ever since I was little because of my grandfather. My dad is actually a really good singer, so he supported me all the way through. But I think mainly what my family and my background have taught me is that you have to work really hard. So that's what we've been doing. We've been in the studio all the time, trying to make everything happen and working really hard. So that's mainly what they've given me.
Okay, you said that you have your music in your blood, but did you feel some pressure from your parents, for example, like, you have to be a musician in the future? They rather said you should do something more than only try to make a music. Did you feel some pressure or not?
For me, not at all. My parents have been very supportive, whatever I've chosen to do, but it was a natural thing for me to play guitar and drums when I was little because there was a drum kit and a guitar in my house. There was always musical instruments, so that for me that was just fun, and it's become a passion just from that. And I think Hannah's the same, really, aren't you?
Yeah, well, my parents wanted me to have a backup plan, so they were very pushy when it came to school. I had to finish school, I had to study, but now that they've seen everything that's going on, they're really, really supportive and they're happy that I'm doing what I love and I'm doing music. But I think when I was little, I think 8 or 9, and I said, I'm going to be a singer, my mum said, why can't you just be normal? Normal, so, but no, they're really, really happy and they've been very supportive all the way through.
So it's really, really good. I would like to also ask you, before recording your album, did you have some material before buying time, or you prepared everything just for that album, just for buying time?
Well, we'd started working together a few years before we got signed, and we'd practiced writing, so we tried to write our own material. But because we'd not been doing it for very long, in the beginning a lot of it wasn't very good. But we did use some of our own stuff, didn't we, for the album?
Yeah, when we started working together, I mean, the interesting thing was Hannah's also a pianist, so she's got a piano at home, and so we did a lot of writing, piano, vocals and guitar to start with, and some of the ideas have developed into ideas on the album. But no, we were writing as soon as we started working together. When we started working together, though, we mainly were doing cover songs in a bar. And it gradually evolved into a bigger project when we said, okay, we want to try our own material. Unfortunately, now some of it's on Buying Time, our new album.
And you said about playing in the bar, and I know some history that that James Morrison met you. Yes.
Well, James Morrison used to play in the same bar that we got discovered at. He used to play maybe, I think it must have been a long time ago, 7 or 8 years, when I first started going to this bar, and he was singing there. And we had a producer who came down to watch us, and he said he'd been on tour with James Morrison, and he'd come to see if, he heard some good things about us. So he came to watch us, and we got invited to his studio, and then we signed our deal and did the recording. So. ChilliZET.